Hey guys, Coop here from Two Brain Business, and getting your gym profitable and paying you is the first step, but it's not the limit of how far you can go. And so we built the Tinker program to help you answer the question, what's next after your gym is doing well? And we started producing these videos to show you like what's ahead of you, what's possible, but also that getting your gym to pay you $100,000 in net owner benefit per year is the first step, and you can go a lot further. So in this video, I'm going to show you the cascading effect of profit. So let's say that you've got your first gym, okay? And when you start off, the gym is doing okay. And, with the help of knowledge and practice and hard work and mentorship, you get it to the point where it's paying you $100,000 per year. That's great, right? It's paying you as much as you need and maybe a little bit more. So maybe you're in this situation of the proverbial cup running over. And after you get to 100K, let's call it, you're making more than you need to make. And so what happens is people ask me, Chris, what do I do with the excess? Maybe you go buy a car or you upgrade your house or whatever. But eventually you're going to reach this point where you're making more than you need. Well, we call that investing. And so you want to move that money into something else. So you take the money from your gym and you reinvest it elsewhere. Now, this next investment should compound. It should be passive, but it could also be a passion play. So let's say, for example, you're like me, you're 30, 32 years old, your first gym's doing well. You want to build gym number 2 because you want to affect change in more people's lives. And you've pretty much got the systems dialed and you've got a good team and you know that you can duplicate what you have into something else. That's awesome. Good for you. Go build gym 2. And it should reach profitability even faster because you can duplicate the systems, right? Now, of course, if your first gym is not doing well, don't go build gym 2. It'll sink you. But gym 2 might present a good opportunity if your first gym is doing well. By the same time, though, that the second gym is doing well, the first gym is still doing well. Because if you've got good systems and the first gym is sustainable and replicable, then it's not going anywhere when gym 2 goes, right? So it's still overflowing. So what happens? Well, that overflow goes somewhere else. Okay. Well, maybe this investment is just something safe. Like you want to keep your cash fluid, right? You want to make sure that you're like liquid, you can get your money. You don't want to hoard cash in your gym. You don't want to save more than like 2 months worth of possible expenses. And so you start putting that money somewhere else. So maybe that's just an index fund. Okay, and maybe that index fund is getting you like 5%, but that's a lot better than just leaving the money in your account. See, people leave way too much money in their business, right? And they try to hold this full glass of water all the time because they're scared. But the reality is that you're never going to run out of money in 3 days. So you might as well put that money somewhere else where it can grow and compound and get you some interest at least. And then if you do need it, if there's like a massive emergency, you can get that money within about 3 days. Okay. But now, see, you've got this gym and it's producing revenue for you, and you've got gym number 2 and it's producing revenue for you, and it's overflowing. Where does that go? Okay, so that profit cascades down another level and compounds. Well, you might decide that you want to go for gym 3, but you might equally decide that you want to buy, a building or something like that. Okay, so now you've got this cascading effect of pouring into even more cups. Okay. And maybe you decide, okay, what am I going to do with the proceeds from gym number 2? I'm going to use that for gym number 3, but I've still got the proceeds coming from gym number 1. Where's that going to go? And I'm also starting to make some interest on my index funds. Where's that going to go? Okay. Well, maybe you're just going to reinvest in more index funds. Okay, and that's fine. Or maybe you're going to take the proceeds from gym 1 in the next year or the next quarter, and you're going to buy an Airbnb. And I've got a video on this channel about self-funding real estate, for example. So you could be buying an Airbnb, or you could be buying self-storage, okay? Or maybe you're going to take the proceeds here and we're going to be buying crypto, okay? Now, at this point, you're investing and these things are compounding and they're building you a bigger and bigger platform. Now, these things don't happen in a month, right? Like maybe it took you 3 years to get to this point, and then you start compounding into gym 2, and that takes a year to get to the point where it's profitable and paying you. And then the index fund, you let that ride for a year, and then gym 3. But the cycle gets faster and faster as you go, because more things are compounding at once, more cups are overflowing. And so even in my case, and I'm a slow learner, even when this took me 10 years and then it took me like 3 years here, these next stages are still going faster. Okay. Like, oh, I've got compounding interest from my index funds. I'm going to reinvest that now. So the next thing that happens is you start asking yourself, okay, where's this all going? Where am I going to be reinvesting here? And as these cups start to overflow, you're still getting the overflow from here and the overflow from way back here, the original gym. And you're still getting the overflow from here, and you're getting the overflow from the Airbnb, and you're getting the overflow from crypto or whatever that is. Or maybe all of this is just getting reinvested into more and more gyms. Or maybe you're just reinvesting this into like one gigantic business. But the key here is knowing what to do. And once you've reached a point where the gym is making you more than you need, you have to have a plan. Or else what's going to happen is this. This happens all the time. People don't know what to do with the money. They don't get disciplined about letting the cup overflow. They don't get disciplined about like paying themselves first. And so what happens is, instead of having that plan and that discipline, they say, I don't know, I guess I'll just rent a bigger space, right? So all of this goes away, all of it. And they call it reinvesting. I'm trying to eliminate all of this at once. And they say, okay, I'm making a little bit of money. I'm going to go make a bigger space now, and I'm going to make a bigger gym. Okay. And so they just take on bigger expenses. They try to make this cup bigger, which means it gets harder and harder to fill, right? What used to be enough to make you profitable is now just kind of like a drop in the bottom of the glass. It's harder to make that overflow. Okay, I'm going to get a bigger location. I'm going to hire more staff. I'm going to give everybody a raise. Okay, but you're building a bigger glass, and it takes more and more and more to fill that glass. And so eventually you get into this point where it's harder for you to make enough. It's harder for you to make too much. You don't get the overflow. You don't get the cascading effect of profit. And so we teach a 150 model because that we know that 150 clients with the proper investments and expenses can get you to the point of overflow. And then you can duplicate that model over and over. The problem with building a model where you're trying to get 300 clients just to make the same amount of money is that you never, ever get this extra. You don't get this overflow. And even if you are super profitable 1 year, it's really hard to maintain that with a bigger model. But anyway, that's a topic for growth phase and for farmer phase of entrepreneurship. This topic is what to do when you're making more than enough. So I'm going to end it there. I hope that you're making more than enough. I hope that you've got a plan to eventually retire from this and grow. I hope that you've got a plan to make more than enough money so you can give back to other people, grow your platform, create a legacy, and make a bigger contribution. And this is how you can do it with a cascade.